All right, we'll call the Washington County Fair Board meeting for May 7th, 2025 to order. We have quorum. We've got Jason, we got Bob, we got Jerry, we got Leah, myself, and then I see Bill is on. Kristen's on. Good. She's our 4-H assistant professor, so that's good. And Bob's here. So at this time, it is public communication period number 1. This is where anybody in the audience can talk for up to 2 minutes. We do have a longer period at the end where you can talk for 5 minutes, and speakers may only select one public communications opportunity. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to talk? I don't see anybody in there.
We've got nobody on.
Nobody on it.
That's pretty darn good. Okay, moving on. Since there's nobody there, we'll do that and move on to the next one. This happened to be action items, approval of the financial report, fiscal year 24-25 through March of 2025. And we've got the financial statements. I know, Bill, you should have that packet that was sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
Packet sent to her? Okay, and anybody else online could have grabbed it too. Is there any comments, Jerry?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I figured you would be.
So you should recognize the memo from last month because I left it in there because we haven't met for a while. And I didn't want anybody to forget some of these things in the memo. So I'm happy to answer any questions. This goes through, like Gary said, through March. So April just closed, so we don't have April financials yet. But these are through March of 2025. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
What's our projection for TLT?
So
budget.
we're gonna hit, let me see, I've got it right here. I just got a new update from the budget office this week. Our estimate is 678,902 is what they're projecting. We're gonna end the fiscal year with.
So we're a little down there, but then as
About
you pointed
10,000
out, yeah, well, and but what was the other item that you pointed out here? That one-time thing that we got,
Oh, the
COVID.
grant money, the
Yeah.
COVID grant money. Yeah,
and how much is that?
that was 95,000.
Okay, so we're, well, on the year to date, we're still plus 387, so we're gonna spend a lot of money in a couple months by yet.
So we're gonna defer a lot of it to July 1 just because we can. So anything that we have to pay through the end of this fiscal year, we'll still pay personnel and, the utilities and whatever else is coming in. As we're trying to defer as much as possible for next year's fair until after July 1. It's not possible for everything, but for most things, we're pushing people off to July 1.
Okay. No, I thought everything looks pretty basic.
Yep.
Like a quiet month.
Yep, so I do, while we're talking about just, upcoming spending, so I just want to let you all know that I'm getting emails about tariffs already. So our ribbon and award company are raising their prices 145% because of tariffs, and our equipment people are telling us there's going to be tariff surcharges. So I'm a little concerned about our upcoming budget. So and we're already getting a lot of pushback from entertainers who we've signed contracts with, but prices are up and so everybody's asking for renegotiations and higher pay and where I can, I'm saying that's not happening. Where I have to, it's like either, we have to rent equipment. So it's either we pay higher prices and pay the tariff surcharges, or we don't get the equipment that we need. We have to have we rent a lot of generators. We rent a ton of light towers. There's a lot that we have to rent. And so I'm projecting we're going to have a little bit of tough time on the expenses. So we're going to have to be really keeping everything as low as possible. So I'm already looking at, we usually bring in extra staff for the fair to help set up and tear down. We're likely not going to do that. We're going to be holding overtime as much as possible, doing everything we can to keep the expenses down to account for some of these higher charges that are outside of our ability to control.
Are the ribbons local? Is it award specialty?
It is not. They have typically been higher priced, so we get ours out of Brookings, Oregon. Turns out, things that you don't know, all ribbon material comes from China. All of it. They buy it and then they print it on their ribbon machine locally and ship it out. And so the company that we use out of Brookings has been the lowest for decades because, you know, we get bids every year. And so that was a little bit shocking.
But the only thing that I can remember, there are two ribbons that are basically USA made, and those are Grand Champion ribbons.
Yeah, and those are in our possession already.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like to bring that
Yeah,
up.
We have to recycle those, we don't have to buy new ones.
Yeah, we'll give them back, so we'll just change the year on them.
They're,
Oh, we can sell them to you.
I'm surprised there's tariffs on the stuff that you're renting. If it's not new equipment, it's already imported, why would they? Is it for just depreciation and replacement?
It's hard to say. I mean, we get fuel surcharges. There's always something that they're tacking on as, there's cat taxes and just, there's always something they're tacking on.
Huh.
So
they probably have all those materials right now in the US.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sure we do.
very likely,
And they're probably the same light towers that were here last year. They're not buying new ones every year for the fair. They use
very
them for
likely.
X number of years and then they're end of life.
And if they have new equipment, that they bought or are buying, to support us, even if it's not something they got just for us, they'll still be passing the charge along. I feel like it's going to be the excuse of
Yes.
the year.
Scapegoat.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's it from a financial standpoint.
Any other questions on financials? Can we get a motion to approve?
We approve the financials.
We get a second?
I'll make a second.
Wow, that's perfect. All in favor? Aye. Bill, I take it you're in favor. Okay, he's in favor, I can tell.
He and I talked about it last night. He
Okay.
liked it.
Good.
I can tell he nodded his head. I saw the,
That doesn't meet the four-way test, Mike, and you know.
okay, financials. All right, presentations and reports.
So I'm actually going to have us do the 4-H update ahead of time. Kristen is either just got done with the meeting or is headed to the meeting. I can't remember which. So I moved her up in the agenda so she can go on. So Kristen Moore, Kristen, you can go ahead and unmute. Kristen is our new 4-H agent and welcome.
Thanks. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, I just got done teaching in North Plains Library. So I just parked real fast so I can join you. But yeah, I am definitely learning a lot. I'm really excited to join y'all's meeting. I've met with Leah twice now, but we had a really great meeting. Feels like a year ago, but it was only just yesterday. So the wheels have been spinning a lot. We are so deep into fair planning with our folks. So fair entry forms are due May 15th. And my side of the world, right now we are requiring in 4-H that all kids who participate in an animal project, except for Clover Buds and kids that do pets, have to do a YQCA training. So that's the Youth for the Quality Care of Animals. It's an independent organization. So I've been doing a lot of YQCA trainings. It's actually been really fun. I've been doing a lot driving out. So I was in Banks on Sunday night. So it's been great actually to talk to a lot of kids that are doing animal projects. But yeah, so it's a new requirement. It's always changed. It's a little bit tough, but making sure that we are offering that in person or either online for kids to do. So that's kind of been us. But yeah, May 15th is our big fair entry deadline. So we will have a lot of a bigger scope understanding. Also trying to call me. So we'll kind of understand like how many entry forms and animals that are coming after the 15th.
So like Kristen said, her and I have had the opportunity to just meet a couple of times. Yesterday it does seem like a long time ago, but it was just yesterday after we met for 2 hours and talked a lot about, what needs to be done, maybe some potential changes that I really want to talk more about, but I'll let Kristen tell me when we can talk about some of those changes. I'm trying to not blow everybody up, but she knows how excited I am about some potential changes they have. So We've got lots of great things, but Kristen is definitely baptism by fire. She just got here recently and now she's learning all about FAIR and
Mhm.
what we do and how we do it. And I think also more importantly, like why we do some things. I told her I say no a lot. It's not because I'm mean, it's because there's reasons and most of it's liability or money related. And so she's learning about us, we're learning about her and some new things and initiatives that Tristan is doing within the 4-H program. So it'll be fun to have a new person with new ideas and things joining us this year.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Good. Well, welcome aboard. Kristen, I have one question.
Yeah.
How's your axe throwing team? You guys have an axe throwing team this year?
An axe throwing team.
Oh, yeah.
He wants 4-H to have an axe throwing club.
Oh my gosh.
You nominated Jerry to be a catcher.
What? Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding, Kristen.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, I have an important question. How do you like your pancakes?
Pancakes?
We are
Honestly-
pancake makers extraordinaire. We can do
Anybody who
Smiley
makes-
faces, whatever you like.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. If people make me pancakes, then that's like the best pancake. I'm horrible at making them, so don't get me around there.
Make sure you get the ones that I make and not the ones that Gary makes.
Okay. I'm so excited. It'll be really fun. So it's been fun looking at the schedule and kind of seeing some ways because I only see a little bit of fair usually. I help out with dog fair for the past couple of years and master showmanship. That was my big win a few years ago was to get dog back into the small animal master showmanship. So I'm excited to kind of be a bigger part of fair and not just my tiny little dog show sliver. So I'm excited. Been at the weigh-ins. Got one this Saturday, sheep and goat. So
Yep, she's been going this weekend. Yep.
Yes, we can do it.
Perfect. Well, welcome, like we said, Kristen.
thanks.
Thanks, Kristen.
All right. Leah, update on the fair.
Okay, well, you know, I was gonna look up how many days we are away from the fair today. It's not that many. For me, it feels like we're 30 days away. We always say for the staff, the fair actually starts for us June 1st. Like finalizing every last thing has to be done by June 1st. But then on July 1st is when we start, you know, with all the, you know, that's when all the tents and all the equipment start arriving, and that's when Albert makes me a maintenance worker. So we're really coming up on, you know, we're just a few weeks away from finalizing where it's absolutely everything has to be done. And then another month after that, we're gonna be in full setup. So we're excited, but I think that I'm gonna turn a little bit over to Bob to talk about our advertising and marketing because he's got some cool things. Gonna talk about his strategy and goal, and we're gonna show you some new things, and then I'll talk about a little bit more about FairFits.
We redid our fair logo.
Oh,
Which I'll show you in just a second.
2013
2013 is
was
when
the
we,
last time we touched it.
Yeah.
So we've updated it. We have tons of different versions of it, but we thought it was time. So we did that. That was a process that we've been doing for.
Oh.
There you go. So Ferris wheel, obviously traditional, the circle as community, and then the arch down at the bottom. We have a free entrance, free gates, so it's welcoming everyone. So those are the pillars of our fair, and that's really what we base the logo off of. We're keeping our colors, our 6 colors, the same, because they're great fair colors. So
I did ask Bob and his marketing team and the agency that we use to really feature the blue and the pink. The blue represents our, you know, sunny blue skies and cotton candy pink. So they're featured a little bit more heavily in our marketing these days.
And I take it the gold that represents Bob and I.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
sure.
And green is, you know, the gold belts
Jason, I'm
represent
sorry,
all of
I
our
should've-
dead grass
should've
during the
told
fair.
Do before you say
When do I resign?
You
Yeah.
You can't.
You're a lifer.
I heard there's a way to get out.
You can die.
our TV by this year is stronger than last year. We're really gonna focus, my thought process and ideology is if you're watching TV, you're probably watching the news. Your daytime TV is not great for ratings, so we're basically gonna be on the hour, every hour during morning news and in evening news. So the strategy is at least one placement every single day leading up to the fair for 2 weeks. So 5 to 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m., 7 to 8 a.m., and then evening news. So that's our buy for TV. Radio, we went with the Bowl last year for country. That was very strong and very well received, surprisingly, because I didn't think a lot of people listen to radio, but apparently they do. So that was great to hear, and we got good feedback there, and we got a tremendous buy from our partner to go with KGON and Charlie FM. So we're hitting a different demographic in that regard, and I thought it made sense considering we do a lot of rock covers. KGON makes sense. Their on-air DJs are excited to help cross promote with us. So that's fantastic and an easy fit, easy tie-in. Outdoor, well, obviously the 26 board is, we have to have that board. So we have that board both directions for an entire month. And then we're doing 224th, Brookwood, and then TV Highway Canyon. We're doing 3 electronic boards there. We picked up a 3rd board on the Surface Street on Canyon this year, which is great. Anytime we can add something for nothing, that's a benefit. Digital, more of the same. Our metrics last year for digital were incredible. So if we can do what we did last year for digital, we will be very pleased. Very, very, very happy. SEM, all of our digital display ads and our search engine optimization that we get through our website, we did over 1.6 million views on our website, which when you tell sponsors and partners that, they're like, what? Because people don't get 1.6 million views on their website in a year. And we do that in a month. So having since we're not ticketing, having that many people flood your website is pretty phenomenal. And you know that's your informational hub. So all of our messaging is going to our website. Go to bigfairfun.com. So that's working. We're currently in production with our TV ads. This is one of our still frames from one of our TV ads. Last year, part of our new advertising methodology was actually getting video at our fair. So we had a professional videographer come out and shoot video. And so we have hours and hours and hours and hours of footage. And so now our fair ad will be our fair, which all these images are strictly from last year, 2024, which is fantastic. And it's what the general public's expecting to see on our advertising. So now we're giving them what they should expect to see. And that's really our recap of what we're doing right now. But yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, but
There it is. That's everything I just said.
Yeah.
All 4 major networks. Last year we were just doing 2. Now we're on all 4. So 8 and 12 both jumped on the bandwagon, and we got great buys from them. Oh, OTT and CTV. So cord cutters. As you know, cord cutting is super prevalent. ABC's our CTV partner. They're giving us, or we're purchasing 300,000 ads in Washington County only. 150,000 of those ads will be Spanish only. Since Univision no longer exists in Portland, that is our thrust to reach our big demographic, which is fantastic. Yeah, I think that rounds us out.
What are cord cutting residents?
Anybody that doesn't have cable TV,
Oh,
so Netflix, Hulu, Freezy, whatever
So
app
one
you're
of-
watching on your smart TV, if you have a Washington County zip code, you're gonna see 150,000 ads if you're watching something.
Yeah, we're watching Netflix or
So
Okay.
Golf Channel,
You know, there's a lot of.
Amazon.
Disney Plus,
Disney
Apple Plus.
whatever that is. So that's a huge, it was a crazy amount that I was like, did you typo this number when you sent it to me? And they're like, no, this is what we can do. And that number that came back was phenomenal. So really good buy.
Thanks. All right, so moving on to our exhibit programs. Obviously, we have 4-H and FFA with us, joining us again. Livestock for 4-H and FFA will be here July 24th to the 27th. We'll have all the usual suspects between dairy and beef, cattle, sheep, goats. We will have some 4-H horses, I believe. We will have the posse back with us both weekends. They will take a break midweek, but they will be here the first Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the last Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then small animals, and then and then Kristen reminded me, you know, we have pets. We also have dogs. So I always kind of forget to add that into small animals. I need to rectify that on my slides. And the project displays for educational and educational presentations. FFA has been in the Wingspan and Conference Center all 10 days, 4-H in Cloverleaf, with their communication, which is like their presentations and their fashion show, expressive arts, consumer science, and then the traditional food, nutrition, horticulture, and STEM and industrial arts. And at our next meeting, we will know, how many of the kids we have, because registration will be concluded. And so Kristen will be able to give you a good update on how many kids we have. Open class competitions are currently open right now on our website. Opening weekend, July 18th to the 20th, our open class livestock. We'll have beef, cattle, pygora, goats, and sheep. As a reminder, last year we had dairy goats as well. They come only every other year because their national show is every other year. So I think last year they had like 300 dairy goats. So we will have less animals for this year during open class livestock, but they will be back with us in 2026. And then our open class community competitions, which are displayed right here in Wingspan, is culinary arts, creative hobbies, and horticulture. And one of the new items in creative hobbies this year is apiary arts, which is honey, beekeeping and honey products. So if you make honey candles, or if you have a honey hive, or you grow your own honey, we now accept that as a competition. And the Washington County beekeepers are joining us to assist with that project and do the judging and take in all the entries for us. So we're excited about that program. And so again, registration for those are on our website now. They began last week. We also have on our website right now commercial vendor and concession applications and our community performance applications. We've only received a few community performance applications. So if you know any dance teams or gymnast teams or community singers or community bands, those applications are open now. Bob, do you want to give us a quick update on vendors?
Yeah, we are already at our number from last year, which is great news for commercial vendors. I don't have any more corners inside. I don't have any more booths outside, so I have a handful of inline spots, which is great. Brad's World of Reptiles is going to go back into the Expo Hall again this year, which is great. They were a great anchor tenant. And for 2026, we already have something in the works to replace them. Outdoor, I mean, Lee and I agree, the feel of that space, the main boardwalk with the tall tents worked. It made the fair look really good. And the vendors liked it as well. So we're going to do that same thing. Yep.
I have one question before we move off there.
Yes.
Honey, are we gonna have live hives here?
They are their club is trying to bring one live hive. Yes. That's their goal.
What are we thinking about for any of the bees that get loose?
That has not been on my radar, but thank you for bringing up
Bees don't get loose.
unlocking a fear for me.
Queen doesn't let them get loose.
They do get loose.
I
and
know.
People get stung, and we have a lot of people that are allergic.
Yeah, that is true. I know that 4-H has had their OSU beekeepers before. I don't remember if they've had a hive. But that's a great question. I will
Okay.
check it with them before we.
I'm sure they got ways to make sure it's safer.
Well, there are already bees on the fairground.
Yeah, but I mean, you bring a hive in, you got to
You got more
add it
bees,
to more
and that would be in the.
in a specific location where people are gonna be around.
That's true.
I will check it with them. All right, moving along to entertainment. So our featured entertainment this year, we've got Super Science again in the Growing Grove along with Play Fit Fun. Those are kind of staples in the Growing Grove. Last year, if you remember we redid the layout in the Growing Grove and it was spectacular. Every year I pull out my notes from the previous year and the first thing it says is do exactly the same thing in the Growing Grove because it worked really well. For those of us that have either little kids or little grandkids running around out there, the Growing Grove was spectacular last year. Brad's World of Reptiles is back in the Wingspan. We had them in the building last year. It worked fantastic. So we will have them back here this year. But Bob is correct. In 2026, we are looking at something all new to replace Brad's in Wingspan. And I'm not going to tell you what it is until after the fair because we've got to see if we can actually negotiate with them and get it done. But it will be really exciting. We have the Birdman, which is a free flight. They do falcons and owls and teach about birds. And then the Flying Royals, which is so there's the Birdman. So he does all sorts of really cool bird displays. He does education, but then flies the bird around the fairgrounds as well. And then the Flying Royals. So the Flying Royals, I saw them at the Arizona State Fair in 2023, and we finally were able to negotiate and get them into Oregon for 2025. So we're very excited to have them joining us this year. This is a very impressive setup. It's huge. It's really cool, and they put on an absolutely fantastic show.
Will this be in the same spot as the other trapeze was last year?
Yeah. As the bounce show last year, yeah. On the main stage, we've got Nashville star Ned Ledoux. We're really excited. He just dropped a new album in April, so we're excited to have him joining us on the stage. And then we've got some tributes. We've got Arena Rock Gold. They play a traditional like cover bands of variety of rock. Then we have tributes to Keith Urban, the Allman Brothers, a tribute to Queen and Journey. Those were all different nights. And then we have 2 movie nights, and then we close out with Outlaw Mariachi and the last one, which I apologize, I actually cannot pronounce. But they're very good, and they're based out of Portland, and they have very, very large following. So we're excited that we've been in negotiation with them for a couple of years to get them out of the fair. They book out really far. So there's Ned Ledoux. And then our movies, Wicked is gonna be a sing-along. So we've been getting a lot of requests from the public for movies where you sing along with them. So it's a Wicked sing-along. I have not seen this movie, but my daughter has been singing this soundtrack for months now. And so apparently a sing-along is what we're doing. So I think that's gonna be really
I
popular.
went to it twice. I even liked it.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen it. I need
Wicked
to.
one instead of,
I-
and I was surprised that there's now gonna be a Wicked 2 and they
Oh.
stopped Wicked 1 and.
I've seen the Broadway musical, but I haven't seen the movie.
Movie was great.
Oh, well, we're gonna have a sing-along, so your grandkids will like it. And then the Minecraft movie, which I don't have little kids, so I don't see any of this stuff, but I did see the previews for this Minecraft movie. It looks pretty cute. I will say every year I see like the first 15 minutes of the movies, and then I never go back, and I always think, yeah, I need to go watch those movies, and I never do. Because they're always really good.
Are they
So-
pretty well attended, the movies?
They are getting better. So the first year, we only had a few hundred people. Last year, we probably had a good 12 to 1,500 people in the movies. Because we put those bleachers up, and I think that helped a lot for people who didn't come prepared with like chairs or a blanket. So we had bleachers there, and that I think really helped the attendance of the movies. And then I think we've also done a better job. Bob has done a better job making sure our social media really pushes the movies as well. We know that the city of Hillsborough gets a lot of participation in their outdoor movies. So, and their movies start after hours. So, hoping that we can keep building that up. This will be the 3rd year. So, but it gets a
Well,
little bit
Wicked
better.
will be a draw. I don't know about
Oh, yeah.
Minecraft, but Wicked will be a big one.
I haven't seen it. My kids video and stuff. They love it.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen Minecraft.
Yeah, and we're really gonna push that it's a Wicked sing-along. So come prepared. We're gonna, encourage people to wear costumes and give out prizes and things like that. So we've got some fun ideas ready for that one. And then we still have our Tap House stage, which we are in the midst of rebranding. We're gonna come up with a new name for it. Bob and I have been talking about it. We're not creative enough, and ChatGPT has not been helpful. So we're gonna find some more creative people to help us rename the Tap House. And then the Growing Grove I talked about a little bit has different children's shows featured daily, and then we have our traditional strolling acts, Big Bear Frank being our anchor. And then important dates, the Fair Board breakfast, July 24th to the 27th. Don't forget. The Blue Ribbon Steak Dinner produced by the Washington County Livestock Association on July 26th from 4 to 6. And then the Youth Livestock Auction on July 26th. Yeah.
Is this terminal for pigs this year?
No.
Okay,
Where are they gonna have the tickets for this thing?
They sell them on their website.
or Bob, you can get it through Bob
You
or
can
Bob's
get them
sister.
through, you can get them through Bill or Susie Ganger.
Bill, rather.
But they do sell them on their website, and I believe we have a link from our website. to
Somebody
their-
asked me, I didn't know.
Yeah, on their website. So they sold out last year. So
Yeah,
if people are asking, tell them to buy on their website now and not to wait.
so which website is that?
It's so if you go to our website, there's a link, but it's the Washington County Livestock Association's website.
Yeah,
Or just get them from Bill.
Or get some from Bill.
okay.
And that is it from me.
All right, this is public communication period number 2. You can talk for 5 minutes per individual. Maximum time for this is 30 minutes. And speakers may only select one period, but you know what? That's redundant. You've already covered the first one. So you want to talk, you're only going to talk at this one time.
We don't have anybody.
We don't have anybody.
So I want to make an announcement.
It's not allowed. Commissioners aren't allowed to talk.
I want to give Leah and Albert lots of credit. That's the peace pole that is
Wow.
now right out front here.
Oh, yes.
And we had about 300 people here.
Oh,
it's here, I'm in the booth.
Yeah.
So that's from Rotary, from the Rotary Club
Yeah,
here.
that's great.
Yes.
Wow.
And pictures of all the kids that were there around it as well.
Oh, can you send that to me?
Mhm.
That would be great to have.
And we just did another one at Century High School.
Wow.
But today?
Yeah.
Yeah, today.
Jason, did you want to say this?
I thought.
Oh, did you?
I couldn't get over for it, but they did one at
Wow,
Century.
that's amazing.
They're gonna do one at each one of the high schools if
That's great.
we can get.
So I want to give Albert a special
Yes.
shout out on this because he orchestrated this whole thing, working with the Rotary. What's the guy's name that was heading that up? Anyway.
Yes, sir, I forget. which one.
But Albert is the guy that really made this happen. So just tell him how much we appreciate
will.
him doing that.
Oh, that's
Did a great
great.
job.
Well, we know how great Albert is.
Albert is, so you bet.
So Jason asked me a little bit ago about a legislative update, and so let me tell you what our legislative advocate said on April 18th. So our hearing for Senate Bill 5505 was a couple weeks ago, and that is a $20 million investment for fairgrounds. And then also House Bill 2145, which is to give us the full 1% of lottery. Right now, as a reminder, we get 1% of lottery, but it is capped. So we only get so every fairgrounds only gets $54,000 a year, or $54,167 a year. And it's been that way for over 20 years. So we've been lobbying and putting bills forward to remove the cap for a number of years. Every year we make it to Ways and Means and we die in Ways and Means. We're back in Ways and Means now. It's looking better. But until it actually has a hearing and gets passed. The one thing that's different this year is the governor did include us in her budget. Specifically this year, we've never been included, fairgrounds have never been included in the governor's budget before. I sit on a committee where we meet with the governor quarterly to talk about fairgrounds, fairgrounds funding and resiliency. Resiliency being fairgrounds being used for emergencies. And she's a big supporter of fairgrounds. So that's why she put us in her budget this year, which doesn't mean that we'll get the money. But then it just signals to the Ways and Means and the rest of, on both sides of the house that fairgrounds are important to the governor. So we'll see. This is probably the closest we've ever gotten to getting this cap removed. If we did get the cap removed, it would go from the $54,000 that we get to about $250,000, which would be great. Then we could start using some of that money to make improvements on the fairgrounds. Right now, there's a lot of improvements that need to be done on the fairgrounds, and the Fair Board could then start contributing into a fund to start upgrading the fairgrounds, or we could bond, we could potentially even bond against that 1% lottery maybe in the future. Those are things that we could talk about. But once we get the money and if that cap gets removed, those are conversations that we'll start having with the county about what we can do with that money to try to improve the fairgrounds.
Yeah, we've also, the county commission has in their legislative priorities a $15 million ask for phase one strategic plan construction here. It's the first time we've asked legislature to kick in on that, so I don't know how often we're gonna, or how much chance we have of that, but we did ask them for 15 million for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we are only one of 3 fairgrounds asking for money in this legislative session. So Washington County has asked for the 15 million. Union County has asked for 3 million, just so everybody knows. Union County Fairgrounds is in Eastern Oregon and they don't have sewer or water on their fairgrounds. So, send energy to the legislative gods that poor fairgrounds gets their $3 million to have sewer and water. And then the Oregon State Fair has asked for $20 million to improve and that's state-owned property, so hopefully they get some money to do some work at the Oregon State Fairgrounds, so. But it's looking good from a legislative standpoint, but as I get updates, I can certainly pass along more updates to you, but, I've been down to testify a couple of times, and our Oregon Fairs Association legislative team is fantastic, so. And speaking of Oregon Fairs Association, the Oregon Fairs Association Convention is in October, and it is here this year. So, July 16th through the 8th, nope, October 16th through the 18th.
I was gonna say, not July.
Not fair on the line.
Yeah.
So October 16th through the 18th, right here at Wingspan, we're really excited. Oregon Fairs Convention has never been held in Washington County ever. In the organization's nearly 100-year history. So
Wow.
we're really excited. That's some great economic impact from, fair boards and fair staff and county commissioners and legislators from all over the state coming to join that convention. So I will be sending out a message to invite all the county commissioners on behalf of the Washington County Fair Board. We're really hoping to get some of our CAO staff out here to really make a big splash that Washington County is here and invested in acknowledging that OFA is a vital importance to this facility. So more to come on that, but we've got some great programming. Bob has been doing a lot of work to get really great hotel deals for fairgrounds to be able to come and stay here and participate in the convention, and we're keeping their pricing really low. We're a good deal for the convention here.
How many people would usually attend there?
About 700 between the fairs, the fair boards, the service members. Not 700 every day, but probably on peak. But we might have a couple hundred people, in the days leading up. But the other thing that we're doing is the International Association of Fairs and Expos is joining with OFA this year. So the IFE is joining Oregon and inviting Region 8, which is what we are a part of. So it's Arizona, Idaho, Washington, Alaska, Nevada. So we'll have representatives from all these states in our international zone and Canada joining us here at Washington County as well. So it's really exciting. So we'll keep you posted.
Get those
Get those really
cleaned up.
and clean them up.
Who's gonna wear them?
Oh, we could wear them, yeah.
Well, we could, wall and
Yeah.
8x10s of me and you next time.
Yeah, not too big of pictures.
8 feet by 10 feet or like 8?
Yeah, 8 feet. by
Okay,
10.
just making sure.
Not,
It's 3x5.
I'm thinking 80 by 100 feet.
So
we could just get on a digital sign out
where
here.
we've got the
Bob
big,
and Gary, yeah.
I actually might do. So we do have some programming that's specific for fair boards. So I will forward all that stuff to you as we get closer, but hopefully.
That's nice news. Yeah. Wow.
Then that's it. That's all we got. And our joint meeting with the Board of Commissioners is June 3rd. I don't know what time it is yet. It hasn't been published. It'll be at the Public Services Building.
Yeah.
I will have the presentation all ready for us and I'll send it to you. Normally we have this in like February. And we talk about last year's fair. So this year we'll talk a little bit about last year's fair, but I think this year we're going to focus more on a preview of what we've got coming up, just because it'll only be about a month away from the fair at that point. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Make a motion we adjourn.
I get a second?
Yo.
Hold on a second here. This is almost a record.
Nice job, Ganger.
All in favor, Bill, you in favor of adjourning? So,
He's thumbs upping.
okay, good. So we're good. We're adjourned.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Painless.
Wow. Oh, there.
I
I
was
forgot I had this thing here. This is Leah's.
waiting for that.
So I'm the past chair of